Welcome back to the battle camp. So it's all kicked off on Twitter just now, not so long ago. Stephen Espinoza and Eddie Hearn went in on each other, raw, as IFL would say. So obviously Stephen Espinoza is head of boxing on Showtime, and Eddie Hearn is Eddie Hearn. So I won't go through every little thing that was said because it's too long. I'll get screenshots on my phone and then I'll just post them with this video so you can read them as I talk. But make sure you concentrate on what I'm saying because it's fucking important. It's important that you know what I feel about this situation. Shit, I couldn't do that with a straight face. Anyway, let's get into it. So someone asked Stephen Espinoza, or someone tagged Stephen Espinoza into a thread of tweets with regards to the 50 million offer that went out to Anthony Joshua from Deontay Wilder. And it was regarding the UK rights for the broadcasting of that fight. So the impression that people have been under, myself included, is that the fight itself or the deal itself was predicated on the fight being broadcast on BT Sport. And we all know Anthony Joshua has a contract with Sky Sports to broadcast all of his fights exclusively. So that term in the deal or that term in the contract would make it very difficult for Joshua to agree to that $50 million offer. That doesn't really matter. That's by the by because Eddie Hearn's stance has always been we got an offer on email, but we never received a contract, and they never wanted to sit down and negotiate with us. Anyway, Stephen Espinoza this morning said contract was sent and Matchroom saw it. Contract said Sky got the UK rights. So this was a bit of a bolt out of the blue because no one has ever said this before. No one from Team Wilder, no one from obviously Eddie Hearn's side. In fact, the only information with regards to UK TV rights has been from Frank Warren, Shelley Finkel, and Lou DiBella, who have all said that the deal, that BT were involved with the deal. So Eddie Hearn responded saying stone cold lies, and then they kind of went back and forth with each other regarding this matter. So let's remind ourselves, we're talking about something that happened, is it 2 years ago now, 1.5 years ago? And it's still a hot topic and it's still a bone of contention with regards to kind of boxing fans and obviously people involved in the thick of it in boxing, Eddie Hearn and Stephen Espinoza. So the reason I'm making this video is I'm not going to tell you kind of go through tweet by tweet and analyze it because you can read it for yourself and come to your own judgments. The thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was Stephen Espinoza. Now, Stephen Espinoza basically is the equivalent of what Adam Smith is over here in the UK. So Adam Smith is head of Sky Sports Boxing and Stephen Espinoza is head of boxing on Showtime. And they're both outlets that show fights on their standard TV channel and then they put on pay-per-view fights. So they're very similar in their stature. And I just kind of thought to myself how differently both of them behave. So when it comes to Adam Smith and he's asked about competitor fights, for example, this weekend ITV Boxing put on a pay-per-view, James DeGale v Chris Eubank Jr. I went to the fight. If I didn't go to it, I would have ordered it at home. In fact, my younger brother ordered the fight, so my household paid for it via pay-per-view and I paid for an actual seat in the arena. And with regards to that fight, Adam Smith spoke very kind of fondly and highly of the event, and he kind of wished them success and hoped it went well. And he was kind of very positive about the fact that Chris Eubank Jr. and James DeGale had found a platform for them to fight on pay-per-view and potentially earn good money. When Adam Smith was asked about Tyson Fury fighting Deontay Wilder in the States, he was very positive about that fight, and he said himself, I'm looking forward to it. I want to watch it. I can't wait to see the fight. I want to see what happens. He spoke like a fan rather than a TV executive. And that's very different to how Stephen Espinoza acts. Stephen Espinoza is very, very, very kind of aggressive. Whenever someone mentions DAZN, he's very kind of anti-DAZN because that's the competition. Whenever anyone mentions Eddie Hearn or Anthony Joshua or Matchroom Sports, he's very kind of dismissive. And I understand that to an extent because that's the competition. I can understand that with DAZN because that's an outlet that is competing with Showtime to put on the better boxing events. But I never understood it when it came to having pops at Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, because although the PBC have got a big stable of fighters, there may come a time, and I'm not even just talking Wilder and Anthony Joshua here, I'm just talking boxing as a whole. There may come a time where a fighter from the PBC is in a position where he needs to fight a fighter from the Matchroom stable. And it may be that that fight needs to go on Showtime, perhaps on pay-per-view, or perhaps kind of just on the Showtime channel, if that makes sense. So, for example, if we look at things from a few years ago, Sean Porter, he fought Kell Brook, and then a few years later, Errol Spence, he fought Kell Brook as well, and he beat him. So these were just two fights that happened between a PBC fighter and a Matchroom fighter. And to my mind, it's a TV executive's job to enable these fights to happen and to act as a conduit and to act as someone that helps negotiations along, to almost act like a middleman, the Switzerland of the world, if that makes sense. And it always kind of baffled me. Why does Stephen Espinoza get so involved in these things? I can understand him throwing throwing shade, as the kids say, at DAZN because that's a competitive outlet. I can understand him having a go at HBO because that's his competition. But Matchroom as an entity isn't his competition. That's a totally different thing. That's a totally different entity. It's not a TV broadcast company. Eddie Hearn has, yes, he's got an agreement with DAZN and he's got an agreement with Sky Sports, but he doesn't own those outlets. At any point, both of them can turn around and tell Eddie Hearn, thank you, but no thank you. We don't need your services anymore. So it always baffled me that why is Stephen Espinoza getting involved in this? It's not his job. He represents a TV channel. He doesn't represent Deontay Wilder. He doesn't represent PBC, because the PBC can go and agree a deal with a different TV broadcaster, and they did that. Last year, they announced a deal with Fox Sports, or Fox. And as I understand it, Fox and Showtime, they're not the same company, are they? So Stephen Espinoza's over here on Twitter having a go at kind of everyone and their dog. He's getting too involved in the boxing politics when his job is to stay away from that and try and ensure that the TV channel he works for gets the best fights possible. And rather than kind of bridge the gap between Deontay Wilder and Eddie Hearn, he's kind of been getting involved and kind of making it less likely that a deal would happen between Matchroom and PBC for the Wilder and Joshua fight. And that's always baffled me. And I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Like his goal should be to have Wilder face Anthony Joshua on his channel. He should be trying to secure that. And by him taking Wilder's side, and having a go at Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, etc., that's not helping anyone. And so when last week Deontay Wilder came out and said he's a free agent, he's an exclusive to any broadcast company or any broadcast outlet, that kind of just shows the mistakes that Stephen Espinoza has been making up until now. Because no one is loyal to a TV channel. We saw it years ago when Floyd Mayweather was fighting on HBO and then he made the switch to Showtime. Why should you be loyal to a TV channel, to a broadcaster? You go to the broadcaster that pays you the most money or offers you the best deal, offers you the best platform to kind of offers you the most exposure and offers you the best platform and offers you the best package overall for you to further your career. So it was always strange to me that Stephen Espinoza was over here kind of acting like he's part of Deontay Wilder's promotional team when he's not. He works for Showtime. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on the situation. You can see the tweet. Hopefully you've kind of had a chance to see the tweets and the back and forth between Stephen Espinoza and Eddie Hearn. But I just kind of wanted to kind of touch on my thoughts with regards to Stephen Espinoza, because from a business point of view, and don't get me wrong, I don't, I've never worked in TV and kind of media. I don't know the ins and outs of everything. But just thinking of it logically, if I work for, BT Sport, for example, my aim as someone that works for BT Sport would be to secure the best fights possible on my platform. So now we're in a situation where Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, that fight looks like it may not happen with Tyson Fury's deal with ESPN. I'd wanna have conversations with Tyson Fury, with Top Rank, and with Deontay Wilder, or whoever look after Deontay Wilder, Shelley Finkel, whoever it is, and try and get to a position where we can make that fight happen. It's not my job as someone that works for BT Sport to start having a go at Deontay Wilder. And I just kind of feel like he's shooting himself in the foot a little bit here. It just never has made sense to me, and it never will. You're a complete kind of third party in all of this, and you should stay out of it. I understand when you're kind of putting together a package. So when Team Wilder were putting together a package, they would have sat down with Showtime and try to understand the numbers of what kind of offer can be made, and the kind of what the risk is against what the reward might be if the forecasted numbers are true. And I understand, for as a TV platform, you have every right to get involved in that side of the boxing promotion. But don't come out and start having a go at rival kind of camps, because that just that doesn't help anyone. It just hinders stuff. It makes no sense. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Have I kind of misread this situation? Is Stephen Espinoza in the right to be coming out publicly having a go at people? Don't forget to subscribe. Please share this with one of your mates, and I will catch you next time.